Hey guys, this is Jen DeLeon, and I'm so excited to do a life lessons piece with Michael Rapaport. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
First things first, do people butcher your name a lot? Because people butcher my name a lot, and I'm like, I thought I was going to butcher your name.
Yeah. The thing with my name is the T at the end. People think sometimes I'm French, so they'll go Rapaport. For some reason, the T gets ignored. I like the hard T, Rapaport. You know, the T's there for it's like a good finisher to the name. So that's probably the only way it gets mispronounced.
Rapaport. So, okay, so I love all the content you do. You're very out there. It's funny, comedic, and you're about to go on tour. So I wanted to do something a little different with you and do a life lessons piece because everyone goes through something and can really impact other people's lives. And I'm going to do it based off of the TV shows and films you've been in.
Okay.
So the first one, Friends. What is a lesson that you've learned and advice when it comes to friendships?
Man, that's a good question. A lesson that I've learned in regards to friendships is their work. You know, you know, as the longer that the friendship goes on, the more work that it could be. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but you have to put effort into relationships, platonic, romantic, any kind of relationship. Even with family, like their work, you have to sometimes do things you don't want to do. You have to sometimes listen to things you don't want to listen to, and that's part of friendship building. I'm not the best at it, but I definitely know that putting work into it helps.
How many? Well, one, what's the longest friend you've had, and two, how many friends do you think you have in your inner circle? Like true friends, though, because there's a lot of acquaintances, but.
I mean, I don't know the number for amount of friends, but I know that probably the longest relationship I've had is like since I'm like 13 years old. My wife, I've known her. You know, we've been married only a few years, but we've been really good friends for 20-something years. So that's cool. Those are probably like the closest ones.
Okay. So since you did bring up different relationships, and I love that you had the positive aspect of it, you were also engaged. So what's a relationship don't for people?
A relationship don't. Money can really fuck things up. So as much as you could try to stay away from lending money and borrowing money and any sort of friendship that adds money, exchanging hands, can get tricky.
It does. Get tricky. And then it's like people get awkward too because it's like, how are you going to be awkward when you owe me money? And
right.
It's like
You're being weird because you owe me money. I'm acting, I mean, there's owing money, lending money. It could be tricky.
It is. Next one, Deep Blue Sea. What's a lesson you have about survival?
My lesson about survival, well, I mean, there's physical survival, but I'll say more like philosophically surviving it sounds like a cliche, but I do really believe that you never could stop believing in yourself. You have to be your biggest fan and your biggest critic, because at the end of the day, that little voice inside your stomach, that instinct, it's called instinct, once you stop believing in that and stop trusting that, you're in trouble.
What was a time where well, you said being your biggest critic. What was one thing about you where you're like, I have to fix this, and I have to fix it now? Or maybe something you were too hard on yourself?
Man, that's a good question. I have to fix this now. It's more personal relationship stuff.
Yeah.
And you know when you've done something wrong, and you know, I could be temperamental at times, and I think it's okay to acknowledge it and try your best to try to improve and then learn from your mistakes.
Okay.
And then I think I'm always hard on myself, but I always stay believing in myself.
That's amazing. This is a side note from Deep Blue Sea. So I was talking to the
Would
team
never
about
get
it.
eaten by a shark?
Well, no, not that.
That's my life lesson.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would fucking suck. But we were talking about what I was going to do with you, and I love the movie, but for some reason, like, how did you die in that movie? Because we were like, we remember Samuel L. Jackson's, and we could not think. I'm like, what was yours?
I got eaten by a shark. The shark.
Yeah,
got
but
me.
like how? Because Samuel, it just.
Yeah,
but
I was underwater. I was
Yeah.
underwater, and the shark got me. It was. I recovered, obviously, but it was a fun movie to make,
Yeah.
and you know, it's sort of a, you know, like a campy, you know, good time, that movie, Deep Blue Sea.
Okay, last one, Boston Public.
Yep.
Least favorite teacher and favorite teacher that you've had.
Man, my least favorite. There's so many least favorite teachers. man, I had a guy named Mr. Zook in the 4th grade who was just embarrassed me in front of the class, and I felt like it wasn't kosher. And then, man, my favorite teacher would probably have to be, somehow I had a Spanish teacher that sort of went the distance with me, and I wound up getting a B+ in Spanish, and I went from being really bad at Spanish to one good year of 10th grade Spanish, Miss Rosales.
Shout out to Miss
Rosales. Yeah, I drove her nuts, but she stood with me, and I finally, I learned that year. I wasn't good in school.
What was your favorite subject?
Gym.
Gym. Okay.
That's it. Gym. I liked gym. That's it. That's all I liked was gym. I never liked any other class except for gym. Just gym. And even sometimes
gym was still hard. Could you climb that rope?
I was good at gym. I was good at I was good at gym. Like I liked gym class. That's what I liked. But even then, that wasn't. I was tough. School I wasn't good in school, but I got through it.
Okay, well, those were all the life lessons I wanted to ask you. So thank you for all that inspiration and the funny stories.